Well, a long time ago, came a man on a track, walking 30 miles with a sack on his back. And he put down his load where he thought it was the best, made a home in the wilderness. Built a cabin and a winter store, and he plowed up the ground by the cold lake shore. The other travelers came walking down the track, and they never went further, no, they never went back. Then came the churches, then came the schools, then came the lawyers, then came the roads, then came the trains and the trucks with their load, and the dirty old track was the telegraph road. Then came the mines, then came the ore, then there was hard times, then there was a war. Telegraph sang a song about the world outside. Telegraph road was so deep and so wide, like a rolling river. And my radio says tonight it's gonna freeze. People driving home from the factories. 6 lanes of traffic, 3 lanes moving slow. right to go to work, but they shut it down. I got a right to go to work, but there's no work here to be found. Yes, and they say we're gonna have to pay what's owed. We're gonna have to reap from some seed that's been sown. And the birds up on the wires and the telegraph poles, they can always fly away from this rain and this cold. You can hear them singing out the telegraph pole all the way down the telegraph road. Well, I'd sooner forget, but I remember those nights. Yeah, life was just a bet on a race between the lights. You had your head on my shoulder, you had your hand in my hair. Now you act a little cold, like you don't seem to care. But just believe in me, baby, and I'll take you away from out of this darkness and into the day. From these rivers of headlights, these rivers of rain, from the anger that lives on the streets with these names. As I run every red light on memory lane, I see desperation explode into flames, and I don't want to see it again. From all of these signs saying sorry, but we're closed all the way. Down the telegraph road.
Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us virtually at the 2020 Best Awards, affectionately known as the BESTies. This was, of course, going to be an in-person dinner event at Lane Community College with an electric vehicle show, which would have been amazing. But this will be amazing too. I've really been enjoying seeing who's here on the live comments. And, oh, am I muted? Can you all hear me? Someone let me know. Okay, I'm good. So it's really sweet to see who's here and know that we're all being present in this space together. And the bonus of us being here virtually, not at a dinner, is that you can all invite your friends. So please do share that this is live on Facebook, and remember to make a comment or ask a question so that you can have a chance to win some awesome local raffle prizes. I do want to acknowledge that these are turbulent times, not just because of a unprecedented in our lifetime global pandemic, but also, of course, because of the social turmoil that's happening. And I think that the silver lining might be that hopefully we'll be able to look back at this and see that it was a pivotal moment and that changes have happened. And I just want to share that BEST supports the Black Lives Movement and that's on many of our minds right now. So we are tonight going to be focusing on transportation. And of course, there is an intersection with that movement and transportation that I think everyone here probably knows about, that there are more fatalities for people of color in our transportation system. So just wanted to acknowledge that before we move on to the rest of the festivities. So let's look at what our agenda is for this evening, what we'll be talking about. So tonight we're going to start with some transportation trivia, and you can enter your responses in the chat section in Facebook. And you'll have a chance to win, not just if you get the questions right, but just by participating in that, or in the next section of the evening, we're going to talk with our finalists, and you can post questions there or comments there. We'll then move on to share who the lucky winners are from our viewers, and then who the lucky winner is of our finalists for the Transportation Innovations Award. And then we'll wrap up with what's next with BEST. So I'm going to pass it over to Marianne Nolte now, who's going to explain to you how we are going to play this trivia game.
Hi, thank you for being here. My name is Marianne Nolte. I'm the Transportation Options Coordinator for BEST. And like Sarah mentioned, we are going to just get warmed up with some transportation-themed trivia. So this is partly transportation, and then also each question relates to our nominees for our awardees tonight. So like Sarah said, play from home, answer the questions by making a comment on Facebook. Anyone who makes a comment will be entered to win one of our raffle prizes, which we'll draw at 6. So let's get started. So our first question is, which of the following transportation innovations came first? Was it A, the gas engine automobile, B, the bicycle, C, the hot air balloon, or D, the steam locomotive? Sarah, do you have a gut feeling?
You know, I kind of want it to be the bicycle or the hot air balloon. And I just want to imagine too for a moment, what if the hot air balloon had taken over our planning of our cities and our country in the way that the gas engine automobile has? What would our world look like if we all got around by hot air balloons?
I feel a good short story there. I might work on that. Just as a note, we'll do the answers all at the end. So I'm going to hop to the next question, and then all will be revealed in a couple minutes. The next question is, in the US, the first successful electric car made its debut in what year? Was it A, 1890, B, 1901, C, 1973, or D, 1997?
There's a lot of, we've got half of our responses so far back that, again, is, well, not again, but seems like if it was A or B, we ought to have switched over a little bit more than we have by now, huh?
Yeah. I'm wanting it to, yeah, I'm wanting it to be 1997 just because of where we're at right now, but we'll see. Let's see. Question 3. In 1953, when a subway trip cost 15 cents, why did the New York City Transit Authority introduce tokens? Is it A, tokens were easier to distribute? B, tokens were a branding opportunity for the subway? C, tokens made it easy to use one coin to pay for a fare? Or D, minting tokens provided thousands of jobs? And I'm really gunning for D here because I want secretly to work in a token mint. That seems cool.
Huh. And could you use, when they did that, could you still use coins or did you have to use the tokens?
You had to use a token. Good
Ooh.
question.
Oh, I wonder if transit use dropped at that point because of people getting there and being like, oh, no token.
No tokens. What do I do? All right, hop into number 4. We have which features make Eugene-Springfield a gold level bike friendly community? Is it A, more than 25 miles of paved off-street bicycle paths? B, more than 187 miles of on-street bicycle lanes? C, bike racks on every LTD bus? Or D, all of the above?
25 miles of paved off-street bicycle paths is pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. I'll take 187 miles of on-street bicycle lanes too. Not
Yeah,
bad.
a lot of our bicycle lanes are not places that I'm comfortable biking, but I'm on the more cautious side. But
Fair.
you know,
Fair.
I pick the quieter streets personally. But I
Yep.
wonder if this includes the active Amazon corridor, and what does that fall into? Is that a paved off-street path or is that an on-street path?
I think, I don't know. That probably falls into B. That would be my guess. We might have to ask later on.
Yes. There's someone here who will be able to tell us the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
We got it on-street, that it falls into on-street bike paths.
Okay, now we know. And then our final question is, how many pickup locations does the EmGo pilot project have in downtown Eugene? Is it A, 15, B, 32, C, 55, or D, 76?
Oh, 76 is huge.
It's huge. All right, so we'll hop into our answers. So the first question was, which of the following transportation innovations came first? And our answer is the hot air balloon. So it was invented in 1783. It was the first air-based transportation option that could hold people. Our second answer, in the US, the first successful electric car made its debut in 1890. So this was a 6-passenger vehicle. It was capable of a top speed of 14 miles an hour, but it did help spark interest in electric vehicles for quite a few years until it was kind of edged out by the gasoline-powered engine.
And it looks remarkably like the pub cycle, right?
It does. Yeah, somewhere between the pub cycle and the EmGo.
Yes.
Number 3, in 1953, the New York City Transit Authority decided to introduce tokens because it made it easy to use one coin to pay for a fare. So when the fares were a nickel, it was easy to insert one coin. When they went up to a dime, you could use one coin, but at 15 cents, they couldn't operate the turnstiles using 2 coins, so they retrofitted for a token.
You got one.
In number 4, I think we all knew this, that it's all of the above that makes Eugene-Springfield a gold level bike friendly community. And then for number 5, how many pickup locations does the EmGo have? They have 76.
Whoa! It's a lot of locations.
Yeah. All right. So from here, now that we have our trivia finished, and thank you to all of you for making comments and playing along, I will pass it off to Sarah, who's going to talk more about tonight's program.
All right. So we are going to move into the award portion of our evening, and the Best Transportation Innovations Award recognizes new approaches for improving the safety, practicality, or the enjoyability of transportation options. So we're thinking innovation here. And in early 2020, which felt like how many years ago at this point, it was such a different world, Best put a call out for submissions for nominations and received almost 50 nominations for awards in several different categories. In February, Best had a panel of judges who selected 4 finalists who would be recognized at the for their transportation innovations. And we are going to speak this evening with representatives for each of these finalists, and then we're going to announce the award. So the finalists are Arcimoto, who produce an affordable electric fun utility vehicle, FUV for all. We'll be talking with LTD about their TouchPass, an electronic fare payment system that allows riders the flexibility to prepay and then reload fare value to a mobile device or tap card. We'll be talking with the City of Eugene about their Amazon Active Transportation Corridor, the region's first protected two-way bikeway, the first diagonal bike signal, and more. And then we'll be talking with various different partners about EmGo, which is a pilot that I'm sure everyone has seen of free point-to-point electric vehicle shuttle in downtown Eugene. And we are going to start off with Arcimoto, and we've got Jonathan Miller here. Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, Sarah, how are you?
Well,
how about those hot air balloons, huh?
Maybe you guys can work on those next. Those would be fun. And Jonathan is the communications manager at Arcimoto. And since we're talking about innovation here, Jonathan, maybe you can tell us, how is an FUV different from other electric vehicles? And what is Arcimoto?
Well, Arcimoto, we're an electric vehicle manufacturer based in Eugene. And I guess to answer that question, we might as well go back to the beginning. About 13 years ago, our founder, Mark Frohnmeyer, was looking for an electric vehicle. And at the time, they were either really expensive $200,000 sports cars that he couldn't fit in anyways, being 6'4", or they were like golf carts, neighborhood electric vehicles that went 14 miles an hour and 10 miles per charge. So we really wanted to build something that people could use every day. And over the subsequent years of research and development, we came up with the FUV and the Arcimoto platform. And I think the key difference is that this is a very small vehicle compared to a typical car or an electric vehicle. And the reason why is simple. We just think cars in and of themselves, the way they are used every day, is very inefficient. About 90% of every trip in America right now, there's only 1 or 2 people in a car. The average median trip distance is only 3 miles. And then just in general, the average American drives about 29 miles a day. So when you have all those numbers, it doesn't make sense to have a really expensive, polluting 7-passenger giant SUV that's really hard to park, takes up a lot of room, is way more expensive when you can do something that's much more affordable. And so we built a vehicle designed specifically to solve that problem. What is everyday driving? It's 1 or 2 people going a relatively short distance with a limited amount of cargo. And that's exactly what the FUV achieves. And what we found as we started driving them around is that this stable 3-wheel platform, all electric, it's incredibly fun to drive, and hence the name FUV. So we're really excited to bring it to market. We've got a ton of great community partners here in Eugene. Locally, we're working with the Eugene-Springfield Fire Department and a pilot program for our rapid responder. Imagine an FUV outfitted for emergency response. We're also working, we've created a local last mile delivery vehicle called the Deliverator. That's currently being tested by a number of partners here in Eugene. We're working with Carry It Forward. They're a local nonprofit delivering emergency supplies to the unhoused. So those are 2 programs in addition to the FUV we have going right now. Then I suppose probably one of the most important things to our community here is that we have 100 green tech jobs and counting. Not everyone's at work right now because of the pandemic, but we're excited to be back soon. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, those sound like great add-on programs. Do those vehicles look different, the delivery vehicles, or is it the same model?
I think the beauty of it, it's the same platform. We call it the Arcimoto platform. The FUV, the Deliverator, and Rapid Responder almost look identical as they're coming down the line until the final stages of development when we can add on, say, emergency lights or add on the Deliverator. Imagine that second seat, the rear seat in the FUV is removed, and that's all cargo space. But in all, it's a very similar profile vehicle, which makes it much easier to manufacture at scale.
Yeah, and so I realized I actually forgot to introduce myself when we started this. I'm Sarah Mazze.
Sarah, tell us about you.
So I'm the Safe Routes to School coordinator, and the reason I wanted to say that is because I'm always thinking about, well, kids getting to school, parents getting their kids to school. Is this the type of vehicle that parents would be able to use to drop off their kid at school and then go on themselves to work?
It could be. We recommend that the children are old enough to have their feet like firmly. It's not like, say, a booster seat kind of vehicle. But if you are able to have your feet planted on the floor of the vehicle, then yeah, absolutely. That's we have a few customers who tell us, we obviously our fans are big EV fans, so they have Teslas and all these other vehicles, and the kids are like, that's what I want to take to work. And it really is. Yeah, it's a thrilling experience. It's totally open. You're protected from the elements, even without the doors on, and that with the open configuration, the wind goes right by you, the rain goes right by. You can't pull up to a stop sign or a red light without someone rolling down their window and saying, "I love it. What is that thing?" So it's a really totally new driving experience.
Fun. And so it's in a pilot stage now. I see them around town.
Yeah. So the FUV, we're delivering to our customers now in Oregon, California, and Washington. We'll be expanding our delivery nationwide as the months progress. The Deliverator is in several pilot programs right now before we actually get into full production. And the Rapid Responder is also being tested by Eugene-Springfield Fire before that goes into full production. But right now, the FUV, you'll probably see a few of them rolling around Eugene. We have about 100 customers right now between the West Coast states. The Evergreen Edition, our first low volume FUV with a lot of bells and whistles and features added, that's on sale for $19,900. But in the state of Oregon, you get an automatic $2,500 off for the clean vehicle rebate. So that brings it down to about $17,500. And then you may also qualify for another Oregon rebate called Charge Ahead, which reduces the price by another $2,500 back, depending on your income. Mm-hmm. The goal is to get more middle and low income people driving EVs. So this isn't just a vehicle for rich people. So you can actually get a new Arcimoto, brand new electric vehicle, 75 mile an hour top speed, 100-mile range in the city for under $15,000 with those two.
Wow. Just like a Tesla. Just kidding.
Like 3 Teslas.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jonathan, and for the work that you're doing. It's really exciting that Arcimoto is a homegrown company, and we appreciate you being here with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. This is an honor to be here with all of you guys. All this kind of change we're talking about, it all happens at the local level. So really proud to be alongside you guys, and let's do some good together.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to move on to the LTD TouchPass, and I'd like to introduce Cosette Reese. And Cosette is the Director of Customer and Specialized Services. Cosette, can you, hello, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Sarah.
Could you just tell us a little more about what the TouchPass is?
Sure, the TouchPass system is an electronic fare collection system. So prior to implementing this system, we relied on cash and paper passes that people could purchase at customer service or at some limited retail outlets within our service area. And if someone lost those paper passes, then they lost the value of that pass. We also didn't have any ability to track who was using our service or how they were using our service. It really gave us an opportunity to provide a lot of new conveniences to our customers and also just information to our community and our partners. So the TouchPass system is a mobile app or a TouchPass card, like this card. The value, though, is not in the mobile app or in the card. It's in the account itself. So someone who's boarding the bus would just have a valid fare on their card or on their mobile app, and they would just present it to the reader, and the reader would automatically validate their fare, and then they would get on the bus and sit down. And what that does is it gives people an opportunity to prepay, pre-purchase their fares. And it has a lot of conveniences, but I'm only going to touch on a few today. So some of the conveniences, for instance, is if you're someone who wants to buy a monthly pass, but maybe you can't afford to pay the $50 up front. Prior to this, you had to pay the $50 or you had to pay cash, and you might end up paying more for the month for your fares because you have to pay cash. This gives you the ability to continue to put fares on your TouchPass system and continue to use it over the month. And once you reach $50 within a calendar month, you no longer have to pay. So it provides some good equity for our low income and some of our other riders. And it provides a lot more convenience. People are able to board more quickly. It's easy and convenient to have a card like this rather than having to fumble for your paper pass or for coins. It gives us the ability, it gives the Transit District the ability to, on an aggregate level, track who's riding and where they're riding. So for instance, we have a lot of programs right now that are funded through grants. So for instance, the Student Transit Pass program, where we get a grant from the state to provide free fares to kids who are in K-12 programs. So this gives us the opportunity to track and to report back to the state the value of that program so that it can continue to be funded into the future.
I am very excited to see that data when that exists.
Yes.
I'm curious about what are the benefits to the community that come from some other benefits that come for the community in getting that data, that information about who's riding, where they're riding.
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. So again, we have a lot of partnerships with our community. We partner with folks, businesses who participate in a group pass program. So for instance, the City of Eugene has a group pass program that everyone who works at the City of Eugene has the opportunity to have a bus pass. And the City of Eugene would love to know how many people are using that pass. How are people using that pass? And again, this gives us the ability to look at that data, not on an individual level, but on an aggregate level. So we can provide some aggregate reporting back to our partners that could help provide incentives, could help provide opportunities for them to promote the use of their pass. I also really believe this is a great equity tool. So again, I believe this gives a great opportunity for people throughout our community who may be unbanked or who are low income. So this pass, currently you have to go to LTD to purchase a monthly pass, or we have just a handful of retailers out in the community. With this pass, you're going to be able to go to more than 100 retailers throughout our community to put value on your pass. So it's going to be a great opportunity for people not to have to come downtown to Eugene or go to those few retail spots, but they're going to be able to reload value onto their card. In addition, there's other places in our area, so other districts such as Rogue Valley Transit in Medford and Bend, and there's at least a couple of other agencies in the state of Oregon who are looking at the TouchPass system. And we believe it could be a great opportunity to provide some more seamless and convenient way for people to pay their fares. So for instance, right now, we're looking at introducing this to the service that travels between Eugene to Florence and Florence to Yachats. So wouldn't it be great for you to be able to ride using your TouchPass system from Cottage Grove to Eugene out to the coast and then back, all using your TouchPass. So it's a great convenience. And again, it's just a great opportunity.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, I have more questions for you, but we have to move on. But I'm grateful for the work that you and LTD have been doing on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah, thanks for coming this evening. All right, we're going to move on to the active Amazon transportation corridor and Reed Dunbar. Hi, Reed. How's it going?
Hey, Sarah. Pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty well.
Good.
Reed Dunbar is the bike and pedestrian transportation planner at the City of Eugene. And Reed, why don't you tell us, what is the active Amazon transportation corridor? What all goes into this thing?
Well, I think the star of the show is a 1 mile long protected bikeway, which goes from Hilliard Street down to Dillard Road. It physically separates people bicycling from people driving. In this photograph too, you can also see it's our first diagonal bicycle crossing of a major street that uses a bicycle signal that is actuated by users. I think that's been working really well. We also installed 3 pedestrian bridges across the Amazon Creek, linking East Amazon to West Amazon. One of those bridges was there. We replaced it with an ADA compliant bridge and added 2 more along the way. What we want is for families and for commuters and for people recreating to be able to get to where they want to go quickly, easily, comfortably. The word I learned tonight, enjoyability. There's a high enjoyability factor, which I think is good. And just get out and exercise and use micromobility options, be able to walk where you need to go, be able to bike where you need to go. As different technologies evolve, scooter share, other things, be able to use those in the same environment where we've already created infrastructure for bicycling because they are very compatible. And so building a network of this type of a facility would allow folks to be able to reach the destinations they're trying to get to easily and effectively, and hopefully be able to leave their car at home for most trips.
Awesome. Well, it definitely feels like a whole different experience than biking in a regular bike lane, which, as I said earlier, a lot of them I feel uncomfortable in.
Yeah.
Reed, what do you see as innovative about this?
Well, it's the first one we've done in the city of Eugene. We had Alder Street for a while, obviously. That was back in 2011. It was not physically separated. It's just a painted buffer. The physical separation actually delineates the space, provides a little bit of comfort and security, especially for families. One of these photos shows children using this on their way to school. We talked with Sarah at 4J SRTS and with Ridgeline Montessori about the needs of their students and what would actually encourage them and their parents to allow students to bicycle to school. And this is the sort of facility that enables that. And so I think if we want more people on bikes more of the time, that we have to build more of these. And so I think this is a really good example of what's possible.
Mm-hmm. Well, we took the mayor out on a ride with some students from Charlemagne and Ridgeline, and she was blown away by the experience. We got a question from Richard Hughes. When will the other bridge be installed?
Richard, talk to me sometime later. We're having a lot of problems with this 4th bridge.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. And the diagonal crossing also seems like something that for Eugene at least is high on the innovation. That's not something that we have anywhere else. What led to that?
Well, when you observe how people are actually using that space, they're coming off of East Amazon and then they're trying to go north, or they're coming off of this and trying to go south. So invariably they end up sort of going diagonally. And I watched a lot of runners who are going to the Rexius path sort of sprint across diagonally. And we said, well, why can't we build something that actually allows folks to do that safely? And so this signal, there's actually a lot going on here. It does have signal heads and a push button, but there's also an overhead camera here that if you get caught kind of halfway and the signal starts to change, it'll continue to hold that green phase to allow you to get through. And so these took a lot of engineering, but again, it's just looking at how people use the system and then trying to build something that folks feel comfortable with. And I think this accomplished that.
That's great. And I see Shane comments that it's innovative, not just in Eugene, but around the country too. That's exciting. Yeah. And does it seem to be working, the diagonal crossing?
Yes, and just for folks listening at home, this was designed for people on bikes. If you're running across that intersection, you do so at your own risk, and I don't know if that camera will find you. But yeah, for people on bikes, it's been working great.
Excellent. Okay, well, again, I could keep talking about this and all other fun projects too that you're working on, but we should move on. Thanks for joining.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, all right. Let's go on to our last finalist, EmGo. And we have a lot of people joining us here tonight. We've got Cosette coming back from LTD, and we have Austin Ramirez from Lane County, and we have, trying to go in order here, Jeff Petrie, parking manager for the city of Eugene, and Kate Wilson, a planner at LCOG. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sarah.
Once. So I would love to hear from, do I have it right that Jeff, you're going to tell us about EmGo? All right, Jeff, I would love to hear, just tell us how EmGo is, what is it? How does it work? How was it working before we shut down?
Yeah, Sarah, thank you for hosting us tonight, and we're honored to be nominated and to be excited to be a finalist for this great group of innovators in our community. EmGo started with a kind of a passing hallway conversation with Mark Johnson, LTD, saying we would love to have kind of a modern trolley downtown. What does that look like? And LTD said, we have something, let's talk. And from an innovation standpoint, it came together pretty fast. And what you see here is our 5-passenger all-electric vehicle that, as the trivia quiz earlier said, that we have 76 stops in our downtown core. And it uses a mobility on demand app, or you can do the old school, stick your thumb out and hail the trolley to come pick you up. And I like what Reed said earlier, when you ride in an EmGo, it's enjoyability to its maximum. And so we have a lot of fun riding in the EmGo. It's an electric vehicle. And I think the a couple of areas that was exciting for all 4 partners here, Lane Transit District, Lane County, Lane Council of Governments, and the City of Eugene, is it helped manage our parking and traffic congestion in our downtown core. And it also helped us go just a little bit further, kind of a pedestrian extender, where if you may or may not want to go 5 or 7 blocks, but you could hail an EmGo, pick you up, and it would take you out for lunch or dinner or a meeting cross town. So we're seeing success in terms of the numbers growing each month right before the event happened. And we're excited to continue expanding the EmGo service in our downtown core.
Great. Well, I'm curious if any of the other, I don't want to call you finalists, panelists, what the rest of you there, do you have any other comments to share on the benefits, the intended benefits that maybe weren't surfacing yet, or any other benefits that you were seeing to the community from EmGo? Or did Jeff?
So this is Cosette from LTD, and we think that everything that we've talked to people about is that they love the idea that they can make appointments downtown, they can go out to lunch, they can go visit folks downtown during their lunch hours or when they take breaks, and they know that they can get a ride to or from where they're going. So if they walk one way, they might catch a ride back. So it really helps them feel empowered to go out into the community and for a little bit of time, do some fun things, as well as, we live in Eugene and it sometimes rains. So it helps people have some confidence that they can go out at lunchtime or during their breaks and have a covered way back. One of the things that we found at LTD is that we find that people are more willing to take the bus when they know that once they get downtown using the bus, they can catch EmGo and go anywhere they want to downtown. And that's both for people who are working downtown and for people who are visiting some of the businesses downtown.
That's really interesting. Well, Jeff, or any of you, just one more quick question. So EmGo is a pilot project. What are you hoping to learn from this pilot? What will make it move forward into the future beyond the pilot?
Yeah, there's a couple target customer groups here. One is our commuters that come downtown, as well as our bus ridership and other bicyclists and shared bike. The other population is kind of our lunch crowd. And so what our goals and our target is just to make mobility easier and extended in our downtown core. And so our goal is, as we come back as more people are downtown and moving about the downtown, that we have an easier and sure way to bounce around the different businesses and our meetings and our offices and outside downtown parking locations.
Great. Well, thank you all so much for joining us, and again, thanks for the work that you're doing. It's really, I feel so proud of all the cool things happening in Eugene-Springfield area. It's really great. We are going to move into our raffle prize drawing now, so goodbye all of you panelists. Thank you. And I am going to hand it over back to Marianne to announce our lucky winners.
All right, thank you. So as Sarah mentioned early on, we have really good prizes. We have a $25 gift certificate to Falling Sky, $25 to Arriving by Bike, and $25 to Claim 52. So I used a random number generator based on all you lovely people who commented, and our first winner of the Falling Sky gift certificate is Shane Rhodes. Jazz hands for Shane!
Woo!
Yay! Our second winner to Claim 52 is Kimberly Felkley Wick. Jazz hands for Kimberly! And then our final winner to Arriving by Bike is Richard Hughes.
All right.
All right. All three winners, please email us. The information is on your screen. It's info@best-oregon.org. Let us know your mailing address and we will pop these prizes in the mail for you. And thank you very much for participating. And now I am going to turn the time over to Sarah and she will announce the winner of the Transportation Innovations Award.
Very exciting. All right, the moment you've all been waiting for. Once again, I just want to say these are such awesome projects that are happening in our area, and we're really lucky to have all this. And this is only the first of the award ceremonies. So once again, the Transportation Innovation Awards recognizes new approaches for improving the safety, practicality, and a new word even, enjoyability of transportation options. And the winner is, everyone, you can do your own drum roll. Do mine on my table here. And the winner is, there's a slide for it, the Amazon Active Transportation Corridor. Woo! Yeah!
Awesome. That's cool. Thanks.
Congratulations, Reed. Reed, you did a lot, but I bet you didn't do this alone. Do you want to tell us, do you want to say anything else about who else was involved in this project?
Yeah, absolutely. This project started way back in 2012 with the South Eugene neighbors, and we walked through fields and said this would be great if we could go that way from here, or what if there was a way to ride side by side so I could ride with my kids on the way to school. We went down to the creek and saw where people were building makeshift bridges across the Amazon Creek, and we said that's got to stop. Maybe we should have some more bridges. And so from there, we went after grant applications. We talked with the community a lot. Brian Root was the project manager on this, and it's probably gone a little bit gray since he started this. It took a long time. It was a huge effort. Shane Rhodes for promoting the project, making sure that we had a presence on social media around this. Parks and Open Space were a fabulous partner on this, so thanks to them. Sarah 4J, Safe Routes to School, huge proponent of this project. Ridgeline Montessori was instrumental as well. And I guess I would say that if you want to see more of these types of projects happening, go out, ride it, see if you enjoy it. Tell your friends, your family, your neighbors. If you're ever at a council meeting, talk to your city councilor, say, hey, we need more of this protected bike lanes or protected infrastructure. Whatever this is, it really seems to work for me and my family. And I think it really has the gravity to pull people out of cars and get them on bikes and scooters and walking. And I think we need more of this kind of stuff. So hopefully we can do more of these projects in the future. Those of you who ride around the community have probably seen that we've broken ground on 13th Avenue. That's another two-way protected bikeway, which will go from Lincoln Street all the way to Kincaid on the north side. It will feature bike signals and physical separation with concrete barriers. But we're looking at the next project, and it's going to take some community support and a lot of folks getting involved in saying this is the sort of infrastructure we think matters. And so thanks for selecting this project. It was a fun project, but it took a long time, and it was it was definitely aided by folks who stood up and said, we really need this. Let's make it happen.
Yay. Well, congratulations again. And it's super exciting that this is the start and that there's momentum with more of this type of project happening. And I totally echo, try it if you haven't tried it, and be loud about how awesome it is, because it really is a game changer.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. Great. Well, let's see. I'm going to pass it back over to Marianne now, and we are going to thank our sponsors.
Yes, so I first wanted to thank all of you for being here and commenting and hanging out with us on a Tuesday night. I also wanted to thank our nominees and our finalists for taking the time to talk with us and telling about the awesome projects they've got for the community. And then I wanted to thank our lovely host, Sarah, for being here and with us. So thank you. And then finally, thanks to our sponsors, and these include the cities of Eugene and Springfield, Lane Community College, Live Move at the University of Oregon, the Greater Eugene Area Riders, and then we have some individuals to thank. It's Phil Barnhart, John Belcher, Teresa Bischow, Terry Parker, Bob Passaro, and Laura Potter. Thank you all very much. And I also wanted to thank those of you who have purchased or who did purchase tickets to the in-person BESTies. We know that the virtual event is not quite the same thing, but we very much appreciate your support. I just also wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about BEST. We're a community organization that believes we're better when we speak and act together. We're helping improve transportation in our area by educating policymakers, engaging community members in conversations, and convening those conversations around our 3 program areas, and that's transportation options, safe streets, and walkable neighborhoods. We're working to improve and expand our transit system. We're working with municipal and transportation agencies to set goals to improve safety outcomes, and we advocate for land use plans that reduce the need for cars. If you would like to support the work we're doing, we would very much appreciate that. You can see the address on the slide here is best-oregon.org/donate, and we would very much appreciate the support you can lend. Thank you very much. Finally, we have the next 2 awards events that are coming up next week. So the first one is on Wednesday, June 17th. This is the Transportation Heroes Award. And then the next day, June 18th, is the Walkable Neighborhoods Award. So we hope to see you there. Tell your friends about this. And thank you all for taking the time. Enjoy the rest of your evening.